there you go.
Your little girls doing things at the fair?
Oh, yeah. Yep, Emmy's got a sheep and a pig out there, got Lane's sheep and pig out there, and then Jim's got a, she's gonna do a class, got a little pig.
Oh, cool.
So she ran that around the ring.
Gotcha. Do you do any baking or anything?
Oh, yeah, Emmy's out there this morning with that.
Yeah,
Good morning. Hey, morning.
Morning.
Morning. How you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Great, what do you know?
Not much. It'll be hot again today, I
There
think.
you go.
Did you walk 2-3 miles this morning?
3.
3? Wow. What time did the boys take off? They good for camp today?
Yeah, I think I'd be there by 8:30.
Hey, Christy.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi again,
Good
Chrissy.
morning.
Oh, really? You want to just keep them out there? Yeah, sure. Things are going better for them. Yeah. Yeah, she was, and then she got 2 volleyball teams that she's been trying out for. They both offered her.
Thank you.
Spot.
Keep getting these
So she's,
emails.
Well, it sounds like we're gonna do some of something.
All right, well, that's kind of what I want.
I mean, I
Keep
just-
seeing those.
keep an eye on it.
All right.
So they all can't sit. I said, so we need all our soccer games, we can't see anything on the hall.
Regular bills.
So basically, the six, maybe
Credit
6
card
months,
bills.
you can't
Those
see
just
it.
measure sheets.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's more not paying.
Lauren? No, Lauren's on. Soccer.
Report on
Yeah,
permits.
soccer.
So not mine, but
She ain't said it's no, I said ball. Maybe ball, Lauren's
I'm
on.
getting confused.
We're doing both. So Lauren's on soccer.
You say we do not do these.
Okay.
The booster clubs, okay.
Yeah.
So she tried to do.
Yeah, it's because they're not gonna have a rescue.
Morning, Todd.
Or Todd.
Morning.
Thanks.
Troublemaker
I
right up
know,
front.
I know. How are you?
All right, you're doing good.
He's your township attorney too. This is paperwork.
is this being used more for cities?
What's that?
So you want more for cities?
Like the number that it is, I'd like to have that.
Do you want one in each one?
Just, yeah, I'm good.
Sure.
Are these the pretty much final numbers on this? Morning, Ellie.
Good morning, how are you guys doing today?
Great.
Good.
It was a busy week ahead of you.
I know. 100 years of the Jackson County Fair starts today. School board meeting tonight too, so,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I told my husband, I was like, don't try to talk to me. And next weekend, I'll just want to sleep, so.
There you go.
But it's a fun week. When those kids come up with their projects
Can I help
and
you?
smile real big, it's just,
Checking for court.
Third floor.
Thank you. Potential juror. Yes.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I've got 9 o'clock, call meeting order to pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Chad, I believe you're up first. You want to jump on up there, brother?
Good morning.
Morning. How you doing?
Good. Right, just
Thanks, sir.
kind of a recap of some things in that folder. Obviously, coming up here was spurred by the fact that we are having a price increase on our aggregate again. The first page.
Keyword there again.
I understand. It's, the first page there, I just wanted to show you kind of where you're at. Tonnage this year for mid-states versus past years. So that's just, I don't believe you hauled from anywhere besides Dennis and Corey. So that's kind of a recap. Up there at the top would be year to date. So I think that number's around 18,000 tons.
Yeah.
Which is lower than normal year to date, I would assume, just kind of.
Two projects that will be completed by the end of the year, and they're all quite a bit.
Out there, yeah, and, I was also assuming just from the fact that Pam's has got material out there, I think that at times more economical option is probably somewhat of a reduction there, but I guess I just wanted to point that out so you can, look at numbers yourselves to, just to kind of see if you're up or down as a whole, if you compare it with what you've been hauling out of the competitor. And then the bottom lines on there are just the entire year, what you would have done in 23 and 24, out of Denison Quarry. So, and then, next in the packet, I included the road agreement, again, that we have in place for Denison. Just to point a couple things out there, we paid that earlier this year, and, there'll be another payment coming, later this year for it. 15 cents per ton is the haul road agreement. That's any material hauled by anyone, not just Jackson County, hauled by anyone out of Denison Quarry. We pay directly to Jackson County 15 cents per ton on all of that. And then there is a 65 cent per ton rebate for Jackson County. If Jackson County passes the threshold of 50,000 tons purchased from mid-states in a year. I'm not sure at your current level of 18,000 tons if you'll hit 50 this year.
Yeah.
But again, just pointing that out. I think sometime next year, we meet on that road agreement again. I think it's sometime in 26, it says it in there.
Yeah, September.
September 26, yeah, so we'll want to.
Yeah, we need to look at that because since this was enacted in 21, how many times have you increased the price over that period? Do you have any idea?
I would say 21,
We were
for sure once every year. I think 2 of those, including this year and one of the other years in there, I think twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll probably want to renegotiate that just a little bit as far as the tonnage for us and
Understood.
how much you've taken out all over.
Sure.
So,
And then, moving forward in the packet, to your prices, I have included what would be our current contractor price. The next sheet would have been the contractor price before this increase. And then the next 2 sheets in there, what your current prices are and what they were before. And then as per the road agreement, your prices are always 50 cents less than our lowest advertised price, which is our contractor. Contractor pricing is the lowest price that we offer anyone else. Jackson County gives it for 50 cents less, and then other than this year, every other year, you actually got it for another 65 cents less due to your purchasing.
and the typo's fixed?
The type.
We can't log into the
I
original price.
do, I do apologize on that. I called our office and they had made an error on that one. Yeah, some of the, as you're looking at the special order prices on there, I think, Scott called me about it, and I think he told you the different letters and the different prices.
Yeah.
Those are different quarries we have. Big Springs, Nortonville, and then Denison are, the only 3 that really made any sense or have made any sense for you guys. I thought I was gonna come up here and maybe talk a little bit about Nortonville and that could possibly be an option, but, we have all of the rock that's currently on the ground allocated, to a couple of projects. When we go back in there and crush again, I'll probably come back up here and we can have a discussion about that, because that is a quarry that, we can lots of times offer the rock a little more economical, which would make sense, I think, in portions of the county.
Is that because the overburden is less, or?
It's built, yeah, the overburden is extremely less, and the ledge is thicker, so.
Same quality of rock.
Yeah, and actually, we just had Nortonville retested, same quality of rock. Meets all the KDOT specifications for, highway base rock, which is kind of what we gauge things on for, county base rock as well.
And then, one of the questions that I've had several times is, how do you determine how much, like on the road rock that we purchase, we'll say from down here in Denison, how do you determine how many fines are in that? What's your testing process?
We typically try to produce all of that rock, that it will also meet the irrigation for KDOT 83.
Okay.
So the base rock that they use under their roadways, which at the very highest could be 20% fines. It has to be above 80%. And then actually it has a spec, it has to be below a certain specification too, so it doesn't get too clean.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I think it's 80 to 92% fines for KDOT base rock. Is what we always make it to. And then, just on another side note, we did have a contract with Approved Paving for the chip and seal rock. I do believe we've hauled all of that up here. I think they're up here, maybe chipping this week.
Yeah,
Comes
Scott,
in by Boyd.
Yeah.
I believe you said they're not here today or tomorrow, but
Right,
they'll be here the
back.
rest of the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And just out of curiosity, why a second raise in 6 months? I mean,
Yeah, sure. Just, it's mainly operational costs, and most of it has been driven by labor. The labor pool has been an extreme struggle for us this year. Just getting guys in, it's just higher wages.
Yeah, we can feel your pain on that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't think it's, just us. It's just,
You want us to yell at you like we get yelled at for that?
yeah, it has its, and then honestly, demand is part of it as well. It's good and bad. There is an extreme demand for aggregate right now. There's a lot of projects around this area. Honestly, your chip seal rock, which wasn't, you guys, that was contracted through Approved Paving, whoever they chose to use it. I know they went out to bid from us and Hams, and I had that allocated to supply from our Big Springs quarry. I actually haul all of your chip and seal rock out of Ottawa. Again, just based on demand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think, like I said, we were just curious about the second price increase per year.
Sure,
And,
understood. Yeah.
Looking at, I think we do need to sit down and talk about, for the 15 cents, if that's still equitable.
Sufficient on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll sit down September 27th.
And there is in the road agreement as well, we've paid it every year, there was, an allocation for some dust control.
Yeah.
I think we pivoted to just another cash payment instead of the.
Yeah,
you were, providing.
because I think you did,
the dry
liquid
stuff.
wrap.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
We've discontinued that anywhere.
Are you guys considering storing any kind of dust control liquid and doing that up here? One time they had talked about it.
Yeah, and we haven't, circled back to that, I don't know who you guys use, but Scott was kind of the corner of the market.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of options for it, which is why we tried to go out and try something different, but it didn't work, so.
Okay. Scott, do you have any questions?
No,
Okay.
Can
All
you
right.
change your contact person on here?
Yes, I apologize on that. I have brought that up, and apparently that is hidden and lost somewhere deep in that computer system. And we couldn't even figure out where it's written anymore. And it's pretty cool. I don't know that.
That's a
Cool's
long
even
time,
been- I don't think he's ever been the road supervisor since I worked there, which is 13 years. So,
It's been a long time.
a long time, yeah. Yes, we're working on it, but I'm not sure where it's at, so. Okay,
Thanks, Jeff.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
All right, real quick while I'm standing here, we're checking in some things on this chip and seal. We talked to Mark about that this morning. Down here at the place, coming in on S Road. Here's the city limits, right here. That's what we did in the last year, the city limits is not. That's what we did here. They're telling us that normally we can clear up to here, like 970. So we're checking into that to see what we're obligated to do.
Bryson had brought up a point this morning about the
FAS rate.
FAS rate.
That it may be that according to FAS, that we do have to come up to the next crossroad.
And the major intersection.
Okay, so what you're saying, this is the city limits
Yes.
of Hoyt
Avoid.
on the south side of Hoyt?
Then on the north side,
Okay, so this goes into the,
yep. On the north side now, because at first they were telling me that we own one side of the road and the city's on the other side of the road. But that's not what the line shows. Up here, it does. It kind of splits down the middle. We stopped right here, but the yellow line actually comes down here, in the middle of the road.
so it would make sense to do one half the road.
But that's how it is. That's how it's going out. So we're checking into these things to see where we need to go, where we need to stop.
Okay.
Just because it's an FAS route, when it ends at on the other one, if it ends at the city limits, it's their responsibility.
Well, okay,
Again,
so
that's why we're checking into it.
there's a deal up at Whiting to where since that is an FAS route coming up there, that the county's responsibility, and I think it's Kathy checked into this years ago, it's the county's responsibility to take it to the next major intersection, which is the corner at 9, right by the city park. So I don't know if that's the same here or not, that's what we're checking into.
And this is in writing somewhere?
I don't know, we just found that out this morning.
That's what I asked, if it was in writing, and then the Bryson said something about, well, I wonder if it's the same way as what is up at Whiting with having to maintain it in through the city up to number 9.
So just.
So they're looking into it, seeing what they can find
Two
out.
of the guys, won't be back until Wednesday, so we got a couple days to try to get something figured out, on that.
Splitting the road thing could be an artifact of where it's located, because if it's a section line road, your legal descriptions on annexations only go to the line, right? So they would go up to the center line of the road, the north half, let's say it's, east-west road. If your legal description of the property is like the southern half of that would include up to the section line, but it wouldn't go over. So if the city annexes that part, they would only technically go to the center. And you guys would then, by purpose of mapping, would have half of the road. I don't know necessarily that, that doesn't stop somebody from making agreements with the city or something to unify that, but I've seen in a couple places that becomes a sore point.
Well, that's why I asked this morning if that was in writing anywhere, and that's what we're gonna check up on, see if they can find that. And then Bryson brought up the FAS route, which I guess, I'd never heard that, but it does kind of make sense, so, and apparently Kathy had researched that when she was still here, and found that yes, it was our responsibility to take that up to the next major intersection. So, I don't know if you've got anything up in your office on that, Christie, or? Okay. So, they're looking into it, we'll get an answer and see what we do.
Let's see. We're gonna meet with David Ant over there out at Deer Run, at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning to discuss his yard and David's yard. We've got done, the big cottonwood, they're leaving on the corner. He said it's not bothering him to be there. Deal with it, if something happens to it, so pretty much the tree clearing is done over there. We got some dirt road, we got that bank cut down, we talked to Steve Sutbeck the other day, he allowed us to cut that bank down, so we got some dirt to work with now. Matt's probably gonna try to get those tubes in sometime this week, the two crossroad tubes. So we're gonna try to get those going this week. Other than that, it's, you know, after the tubes are in, we're ready to start working on the road.
Did you hear anything from Johnny?
Talked to him last week, I guess the name wrote down there. Jeremy. Spoke with him and he said he'd have to get a hold of his contractor to see when they could get that scheduled. And he would get back with me if he has not done yet. I would call him again today. Chip seal, I think we covered already. We'll be back out Wednesday. Did talk to them a little bit, the previous company, I want to look at some of the work they've been doing here. And I said the previous company, when they were done, they was like just piles of rock all over the road. And it would get bunched up on the edges. This is not happening, they're just pretty flat.
I drove down S and it looked good.
Yeah, and so I was asking him, I said, well, you know, it's always been recommended to broom the road after. And I said, I'm not really seeing anything to broom. And he said, well, some people wait 2 months down the road. Some people do it pretty quick. And so he talked to his people and he said they recommended within 5 days after to chip to go back in and broom it. So I've got tentatively a broom to be broomed next week.
But if it's not affecting it, why are we brooming? I mean,
It's just what they recommend. Any loose rock is gonna move it back into the road.
Into the road, okay.
Into the road, yes.
Okay, you're not
brooming
sweeping
it all,
it off,
no.
okay.
No, we're brooming it
Back in.
back
Back
in.
in,
Yeah,
okay.
yes.
Because I drove down it right after they finished it, and it wasn't leaving a dust trail, it wasn't,
Right.
it looked really good.
Yeah. So, anyway, we've got, tentatively, broom reserved first down United Rentals for pick up next Monday. We'll have it for the week, so we should be able to get over those roads pretty quick.
Okay.
The 106 and B down there, we've got those head walls ordered. They're supposed to be delivered next week sometime. They wanted to do it this week, we told them not to because it looked like we're gonna have some weather. So we're looking at next week to get those delivered down there. And then start on that same line this fall. Let's see. Did put 2 tubes in last week, one was a 5 foot, a 30 foot long, 330 and P3. Got another small one, 15 inch with 30 foot, 278 F6. Ditching, and been working on 04, south of 118. Up here on 310 last week between U and V, the minimum maintenance road that we went into work on, and one of the guys was backing the dump truck down it and hit a wet spot and buried the truck, and so we ended up with motor grader out there trying to pull, got it stuck, and we ended up with a hoe and motor going out there. We had it out by 3 o'clock Friday, so the road is a mess, it is closed right now, up there, so it's Friday, I'm going to go out there so we get it fixed.
And this was where?
310 between U and V. So there were, we had some calls about
Yeah.
roads. Still a little bit.
Yeah.
See, Friday was quite a day. We had that and some other things break down. The truck quit running. Tractor, he was mowing over here. And, there was a culvert in the week he didn't see, so he slid a tire. So Bryson's going to pay like that. So that expense was like to look at.
who's supposed to be supplying that?
It's supposed to come from the playground. Well, that, where's that company that uses,
Have we talked
it's
to them?
supposed to be, yeah, Jim's been in contact with him. It's supposed to be on its way.
And it's shipped and just not here, because we don't know where it is in shipment.
And just a FYI, I hear that Ag Partners fuel is like 12 cents a gallon cheaper than non-pine right now. Jim's got the engineering report, Matt and I are gonna look at it today, and should sign off on it, or what we need to do, we need to send off, and then she's gonna start on the fuel tax portion. Get that stuff ready to go. So now it gets a little right.
134 and T, first mile south, there's a minimum maintenance road from 134 to 126. It's been closed now for
Yes.
a month.
2 weeks ago.
What are we waiting on?
I'd have to get down there and look again.
Because-
There was a huge mud hole down there, and a pickup stuck in it. They have done some work on it.
I drove past it the other day, now folks have got to get down there to pay, and somebody just ran over the sign, crushed it. So maybe we move the signs down to the situation so that people can get in there.
We can do that.
I mean,
I just say if people drive all the way down there, oh crap, I can't go nowhere and have to back out,
yeah,
you know?
better than running over our signs. But I don't know what needs to be done down there at the bottom of that hill, but, I mean, it's gonna haul it in, or?
I know they went down and worked on that hole. There's a pond just to the
Above
east of
it.
that, and it
Two
ran through there. Again, I'd have to look at it again. At the time I looked at it, there was water all the way across the road, and the pickup truck stuck in it, and the guy had been out there since 10 o'clock the night before, and this is like 10 o'clock in the morning. He'd been out there all night. Yeah, his dog with him.
Yeah,
Anyway.
would check and see.
Yeah, we'll look at that again.
And I think the sign is actually now gone, somebody's taken it. And then the mower, that, I noticed the mower had been in some places down in the south end of the county, and it's leaving a strip down the middle. Not sure why, I don't know if speed, I don't know if we're going too fast, if we're not lowering it down, I don't know, but maybe
Some
some
of
of
the wings possibly are coming together.
could be, but still shouldn't leave a, shouldn't leave a thing. But
Well, I
maybe,
can see it on it, we got it on a bank, possibly, or like separate, but if it's on flat, it should
if you're down that way, you'll see what I'm talking about along that road. And then, where are we at on the GPS?
Got a price on last week, and went over the cables and all that situation, and he's got 3 graders, but they're not been installed yet. He said he's gonna work on them, start on it today. And then Becky's truck, he's got this one of those, got the wrong plug on it, and we're missing the rain box for the other grader, so contacted Samsara last week with emails, phone calls, we talked to him, and he's looking into that. I also commented to him, I said, you know, these things are plugged in, you know, and I said, I thought before they just automatically would show up, and I said, they're not doing that. So I had to give him admin rights, Matt Lehman, admin rights again last week, so he said he'd go in and check it. We're supposed to be having a conference call this afternoon around lunch. So that's kind of where we're at with that.
Last week, we were missing some,
Well-
the hands weren't correct.
Dug into that too. the cables that they listed out for the equipment, and we got to print out a list of what goes with what. They sent some extra cables that's listed down at the bottom, just in case some of these other cables didn't work. So we had the 14-pin connectors laying there, but we didn't know because it said this machine took this 9-pin connector. So like I said, ran across that last week, but
So we have everything that we need.
except for the cables are still, the connections don't work on Becky's truck there, and then, we got the one brain box with this also, so like I said, we're looking into that.
Okay.
But again, like I said, Matt's supposed to be looking into why, because before when we plugged them in, I mean, they showed up immediately, you know, it's on.
So we think everything should be up and running by in July?
I would think so.
Okay. Yeah, I would
They, again, well, we got the conference call that he's trying to set up with Jeannie, this week sometime too, so we sit down and we'll talk about that. But all of our drivers have been loaded into the Samstar system. I can see them on there. When I look at it, still not real familiar with how all that stuff works. Because, you know, it says, well, load the license to your, or assign the license to your drivers or whatever and equipment. And, well, your drivers are gonna be in different equipment, you know, multiple times. You're not gonna just be assigned to one piece of equipment. So again, questions for Matt, that I have.
Why would the license be in any driver's name? Should just be.
I would think it'd be in the county, but it should be in the, on the equipment rather than the
Right.
driver.
Again,
Yeah.
questions I have, and so it's been tough to get a hold of it.
Okay. I don't have anything.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise this weekend. See you later.
All right.
Good one.
That's paper. Should that be that paper? Can't see what it stands at.
I think the sheriff had 2 more commissions up there. There's one in Colorado.
Okay. That's about it.
Let me ask one. I think the sheriff's had 2 positions.
So maybe I wrote something down wrong last time. Okay.
All right, so housekeeping, we have a notification from Kansas Department of Health and Environment about the Soldier City water permit. It's good, it's just been renewed. So anybody want to look at that? Okay. We have a request from the Jackson Heights Cobra backers to join that this year. From what I've been told, we do not do the backers for the schools, so. And seguing into that, want to make a statement, so you guys know, the public knows, everybody knows. We've been being roasted for giving money to post-proms, things like that, using taxpayer dollars to fund these, and this is not anything that is taxpayer dollars through a mill levy or anything like that. It is through statute 79-41804, local alcohol liquor fund, distribution of monies. And I'll just read this little blurb right here. The treasurer shall credit 1/3 to the general fund of the county, 1/3 to a special parks and recreation fund in the county treasury, and 1/3 to special alcohol and drug program funds. The post-prom funds that we distribute to the schools, post-prom got started years and years and years and years and years ago, and it was a way to keep young people from going out and partying, getting drunk, crashing their cars, whatever. There were a lot of people killed on prom night. And that is what this money was for. If we didn't spend it on that, if we didn't spend it on the, and I can't think what the name of the program is, for New Year's Eve night, when they go out and put the stickers in the liquor stores.
Sticker shock.
Thank you. If we didn't spend it on that, then the money would sit there and grow and grow and grow and grow and never be spent. Because there are only certain things that by statute we can spend this money on. So is it a good idea to spend this money on post-prom and sticker shock? Yes, it is. Is it a good idea to use part of the money that we use to buy the 800 megahertz radios? Yes, it is. So, if anybody wants to discuss this with me further, you got my phone number, I'm online, whatever you want to talk about. So, I think that pretty much explains that.
That's right. There's statute out there.
All right. Let's see. Well, we're early. Todd, you got anything?
I guess checking my list, county EMS, are you guys good on that for now?
I was happy with their explanation of where things are going, how things work. I still think that we need to see if we can renegotiate a little bit lower rate.
Right now, in the budget, I had them at last year's rate. I did not.
You have them at last year's rate with no increase. Okay.
There's 3% of what the contract is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, do we need to, what's the timeline on that for?
Timeline.
I have to know by the 18th, if you're gonna go. I have to know by Friday.
Oh, boy. Well, it's 3% of the rate.
We would have to cut somewhere else.
So you're talking
Cut
$10,000 to $11,000, give or take,
about 16,000.
16,000. If that's something that you choose, and this is just a thought, to do in some portion, whether it's 1, 2, or 3%, that could come out of money that we already have. You're not talking a large amount of money, so we've got some funds available. It wouldn't have to be a budgeted item this year. And then next year, we could renegotiate and try to put that into the budget somehow. I don't know where else we cut and not, I mean, we can butcher the rock budget down to nothing, and I don't think people will be happy with that, but,
Well, I cut county general,
I know,
road and bridge, sheriff.
I know.
And here is, last week I brought up the fact that 2 other counties bordering us are in a world of hurt because they have no money. They have no funds left, and this is exactly the situation that they got into, as to where they were not taking budgeted money, they were taking funds and paying these little niggling things, you know. And that's exactly what happened, is now that they did, one county did it for 7 years, and now they've got nothing.
Wait.
So we've
Yeah,
got,
they
that's
should
still
have-
my
they
point
should
last week, we have to be careful on this
Yeah, I get it.
to, you know, revenue neutral sounds good, it's great. But revenue neutral is not necessarily the answer to everything and the way to go.
I agree.
If you don't, you know, keep it up just a little bit, you're gonna run into trouble. So I just wanna put that out there. I
You'll
don't
run
want
into
us-
trouble if you don't stay within your budget.
True, but
That's the
you're,
only way.
but here you're talking about taking unbudgeted funds from extra cash that we have and putting it towards this. That's what I'm
For
saying.
1
You
year.
have, okay,
For 1 year.
for 1 year.
Yeah.
That's what you have to be careful of, though, is all I'm saying. You can't keep doing this year after year after, we're gonna hit revenue neutral year after year. We cannot
I
do
didn't
that.
say year after year.
Okay,
This year.
okay.
That's my thought. I mean,
And that's fine, you wanna try it this year, that's fine. I'm just saying, we have to be extremely careful not to get caught in the trap. That's all I'm gonna put out. We have to be extremely careful not to get caught in the trap, okay?
I've had several people ask me about budget meeting, if you guys are gonna do that again this year, but I've been telling them, since you're producing under the R&R, I didn't know that you would, but I didn't know what answer to give.
I think it would be a good idea, because if last year we got cut on because we were not being transparent, even though we tried. I would like to give it one more try, just like we did with night meetings. You know, we tried night meetings and those didn't work out, so we quit. If it doesn't work out this year, then we don't have to do it again.
we'll have to set a date for that.
Yes.
Early enough that if there needs to be a change, we could still
Yep.
make a change. That's the whole idea behind having that meeting.
And when do you have to have your notification in?
I need to know by Friday on the R&R, and I have to have the R&Rs mailed out by August 7th or 8th, because I have to have 10 days between for the hearing dates for the people that are exceeding.
So,
Is this the same as city, meaning you can notify that you're gonna exceed, but you aren't obligated to exceed?
Right.
But you can't, if you don't say it, you can't exceed.
Right.
So it's pretty much consensus that we are staying R&R, correct?
Yeah.
So then you ought to be good on your timeline then, okay? So when is your next notification? Oh, yes, November. That you're gonna have, Christie?
I just got to have everything in by the end of the week, so I can start doing the R&R mailings. So I already have us in as not exceeding.
Okay,
So I'm still working on cities and cemeteries. I haven't got anything back yet. So this week is the thing.
And you have to send your sheets out by when?
I have to have them mailed out by at least August 8th, I believe. And it has to be 10 days before the first hearing date. And the first hearing date can be
End of August.
August 10th. I think it's August 10th through September 10th.
And it was the first part, August, when you get all those sheets
did notify me it's the 20th, but that's on a weekend, so I told him the 18th,
The what?
the 20th. But I told him when I sent it out, I wanted it back on the 18th, because the 20th is a Sunday. Anyone will notify taxpayers via mail for anyone exceeding the R&R 10 days prior to the first hearing, so August 20th or September 20th. No, I had my dates right.
You what?
No, I had my dates right, I just couldn't figure out what was wrong. So you guys can hold your budget hearing whenever, since you're not mixing. You don't have to stay within that time.
Okay, so what would be a good date for everybody to try to get in? Because I'd like to have department heads here also. We'll do that again. So August 5th is the final date to publish proposed budget and hearing notices. So I would say that we need to do it sometime toward the end of July, that way if we do, they want us to cut more.
July 29th? That's Tuesday. Or you come back in on Monday night?
Or come back in on Monday afternoon or whatever, it makes no difference to me.
I do the Cooper's here on the 28th, right? That's an afternoon, that's all, yeah,
When?
the 28th.
28th.
Okay, so we probably can't do it then. I've got the 29th open right now.
Time frame?
Last year we did what, 3 to 7?
We did.
And if people can't get here in 4 hours, that's plenty of time for them to get here after work or before work or whatever. So I'd say do then.
And Ali, last year,
I know,
we had no one
Zero.
show up.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I stopped by and it was, you guys were sitting there, yeah.
yeah.
So I'm not no one, I'm just
There was a college girl, remember?
Yes.
But she
But
just
she
had,
didn't
she
come out-
was,
she didn't come out.
I know,
She
she was just writing a report or something.
yeah, I think she was talking to Dan.
I know, yeah. Okay, 3 to 7?
3 to 7?
Yep.
So you want to get that out to department heads right away too?
And are we gonna ask the superintendents if they wanna come in again or not even bother since only one showed up last year?
I wouldn't bother, I mean, Holton did theirs.
Yeah, they had a separate one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
I think it said what, they had maybe a dozen people there.
Yeah, Ryan went, I think it was like, yeah, 12, 14, something like that.
Okay. What else you got, Todd?
Well, I guess back to the question, so we're just gonna table EMS for time being, is that the idea?
Yeah.
Um,
And so their full financials, profit and loss for their entire company is not available to us. Is that correct?
Yeah, that would be correct, but I don't know of any particular way to obtain that if they do not volunteer it.
Guys, I don't see how we can get it for Johnson County or Osage County or their
We
transfer.
I mean, if they produce the same thing for Osage County and it's not protected, I mean, if they submitted it the same manner as they submitted to you, then it would be a record in those counties.
Can we ask for, because I know in their comments that they said they produced, they had an ambulance on staff, 82 hours or 84 hours, whatever it was, 24/7, 2 of them. Can we ask ask for proof of that? Through timesheets, through verification of some sort? Just so that we have proof of that, or do we just go, oh, okay?
There's, again, it's voluntary on their part, but I don't see why they wouldn't want to answer at least a year.
And then documentation of some sort showing that they're asking for reimbursement from individuals who are either not paying, whatever, or are they just immediately writing that off because they get a
I
subsidy?
see the lawsuits in the paper.
What's that?
I said, I read the lawsuits in the paper that they're.
Right.
Yeah, so.
But I would think they would have a spreadsheet of some
Sure.
sort showing the number of individuals and what that dollar amount is, and if they're going after those, not necessarily through lawsuits, but even through whatever insurance or is available, are we?
Well, is at the end, I mean, the end result being is that they are, I mean, accounts receivable would be one measure, bad debt write-off would be another. That's
Correct.
probably not in what they revealed to you guys in those
Correct.
financials. So, I mean, you'll never, I mean, it's pretty granular to go to the level of collections, actual collections by the collection agency they send it to, because that's basically, they keep 33% of it, whatever they get. So usually at that point, when it gets to collection, it's tantamount to a bad debt. I mean, they're not going to get a whole lot.
Mhm.
But the ARs will at least tell you how much they're showing on kind of a revolving basis. Usually businesses keep a 90-day AR and a longer term AR. So if the request is, I think we're talking about, well, we're saying one request, timesheets or log sheets of ambulance times availability, right? And then second of all, AR. Get that. And you'll either see it's a big number and wonder what's going on, or see it's a little number.
Yeah, I mean, because all we get is, this is what they spent, and this is what they took in. We don't have any documentation showing that or backing that up.
And that's the question, because if they are essentially using you to subsidize treatment of people who aren't paying freight, you're kind of, the county folks, taxpayers are double hit, I suppose,
Right.
right? Because does the business have any incentive to aggressively collect?
Right.
So, I guess a letter to them following up on prior communications, so please provide those too. That's consensus.
So does anybody else have any interest in that?
I mean, yeah, if they'll provide something like that, that'd
Sure.
be fine. I'm just looking over the contract here to see what. Yeah, if you want to see that, I've got no problem with that.
Can't get it if you don't ask.
Yep.
Okay. The only other thing that came up, I think, I don't know if you guys saw that there was an inquiry about the right of entry. I thought maybe it would be Crowder.
The inquiry about what?
The right of entry
Yeah.
On the
resolution.
property,
I've heard rumor.
Yeah.
I've been told. It appears.
Well, yeah, and so you understand that the two communications I received was one from Sean Wilcott, who's state rep for this area, the northern portion of the county.
Right.
And I explained to him what,
I thought your explanation was very good.
So did I. I think that needs to be out there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm working on an article for the paper, and Christy gave me a copy
Oh,
of
no.
it. If that's
No.
okay with you.
Your explanation
Yeah,
was
that's
very good.
fine. I meant it to be a general
Right,
statement.
yeah,
That's what needs to be out there,
that's fine. And
Yes.
maybe sure.
definitely.
Okay, well, that was, I mean, I hope that was a good, solid reason why you
It was.
do. This is, just for the record, it's more, when I drafted it, every city, not every city, but most of the cities I work for just have basically an ordinance that has two sentences. And it says, city officers shall have the right to entry to property to enforce the ordinance. And, at this time or whatever. So it's really not very extensive. It doesn't say the things, and I put things in this that protected the public more than what those cities generally, I think cities are still bound by that, it just doesn't say it. And by saying this, then I think you put that onus on us to make sure we're keeping those things properly. And also, like I said, we're not, I don't think anybody's married to this particularly. If somebody has a specific issue, they can come and address us, and I think you guys will consider it, just because
Yeah.
you're trying to get somewhere with it, that if somebody has more concern that's more specific, we want you to talk about it. And I was also contacted by Gerhardt, who
I think your response was good too. I'm just like, really?
yeah, and I think that's a little more fraught, just because there's not a lot of, as you guys know, there's not a lot of sterling, crystal clear clarity on where that line is between us enforcing things and the property, on their property. But I think hopefully that they understand that this was not a blanket authorization to roam freely. It's specifically to be addressed within existing regulatory authority. I mean, if they are subject to your guys' sanitary sewage law or ordinance or whatever, then that's when it would be used. And if it's floodplain, then that's regulated, and that's when it would be used. But it's not just willy-nilly going, well, this looks like fun, let's go on this path. I didn't get anything further from them, so hopefully that explanation was good enough. And again, same thing entirely, if there is something we need to address in that, that's the door's open.
Well, pretty much, I was gonna say, if they say, well, you can't do that, then that would almost be them saying, well, then we have zoning authority over the res, which we do not.
Yeah.
Correct? Since they already have their zoning and planning,
Yeah,
we have no authority there, so why are we gonna use this with that? That's not what this is for.
yeah, and that was,
I wondered when it came across his desk, did you just not read it?
I don't know, but I just got that, you have the same, I don't want to say the communication was any more than that, because it wasn't. I mean, it was a phone call, and anything other than the email that you guys all saw, which was pretty brief, and just said, you intend to enforce this on the reservation.
Only if they're ceding the zoning and planning authority over to us again. If they are, then fine, yeah, we'll use it. If they're not, well, then guess what? We can't use it.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, well, yeah, if they have authority over the property for zoning, we would not use it for zoning. If it's, the question may be, is there a nuisance condition that's so severe that somebody has to address it? I don't know if they regulate it. But I think, in fairness, if they said to us, we have, not only do we have a zoning code, but we have a nuisance code. I think my answer is kind of the same thing, which is, and it sounds good, it sounds like you guys have authority over it, as long as you guys are regulating it, we don't need to worry about people in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess, like I said, I thought maybe there'd be more on this, but for people here, but that's the explanation for now, unless we need anything more.
I'm good.
Okay. But, that's all I had on my list, so any other questions?
No, his explanation was really good. I just think it needs to put out there. That's good.
The other one was,
about the floodplain building? Have we heard anything more on that?
I haven't, I mean, I think Kate's tracking that closer than I am, because she said pretty much she's interfacing with them directly, so
Okay.
I didn't really, I was gonna be reactive, not proactive on chasing it, so she'd have the current situation.
All right.
And I have no information that he's torn it down or like that either.
Oh, the understanding of the, the letter that Kate sends out to all businesses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that goes out every year.
Yeah.
Been doing that forever, and the way that is set up, it's mandated by the state of Kansas.
Yep.
That we send those out. So every business that gets one of those, they are completely voluntary. Again, if you read the document,
Did you get one?
get one every year,
I know, so.
I got 5 of them.
but
It's just another tool to try, for a third way to try
It
to
is.
set valuation. That's all it is.
And if people don't want to fill it out, they're not required to. But, again, it goes back to, I believe I heard it, all, yeah. If you don't start any, there won't be any.
Well, I mean, it's sometimes could be beneficial.
It
Somebody
can
think
be.
they're over.
Absolutely.
And they said, well, you think I've got this thing here?
We had that discussion with Kate several years ago about I think it was a building down here that had they filled that out, it would have been beneficial to them, but their choice,
Right, it's completely voluntary.
yeah,
You think you got tenants at your business that you don't have?
correct. Because otherwise, I think it states you will be taxed at the highest level, which is, but if there's a reason,
Yeah.
again, like you said, Mark, it's a tool.
And I don't know how to make it much plainer. It's a tool, that's all it is. But,
Yeah, it wasn't something new, I mean, we got it for how many years?
Oh, long time,
once again,
20
like
years
I said, it is
that I know
mandated
of.
by the state.
at least 20 years that I
As
know
long
of,
as I've
over
got rental
20 years.
houses.
Kate's coming down, she wanted to know if you could talk about the resolution, so I figured it'd just be easier to have her come down.
Sure.
Oh, goodness.
One thing that's pointed out to me today is Linda still has a phone that's sitting out there, road and bridge, it's not being used, county issued phone. With all of this that's going on, with the basic threats that have been posted online about people coming onto your property and this, that, the other thing, would it be a good idea to transfer the phone from road and bridge down to noxious weeds, so when they go out, that they have a county issued phone on them? And would it be a good idea also to install on all of the county issued phones, what is it, Life 360, so you know where they're at in the county?
Life 360 is a free app,
Yeah.
so.
I also think maybe the appraiser's office should have one. When Justin and Kayla go out, I don't think they have a phone.
Yes, your name was mentioned, Kate.
Yes.
So I hear.
So if it works in the area, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I think that, like I said, for the safety of our county employees, that's probably a good thing to consider.
Would you always have a county issue phone?
Would that be something that you would be interested in, is having a county issued phone for when your employees go out to assess a property, look at it, that they would have a county issued phone with Life 360 on it so that we knew where they were at all times?
Yeah.
I mean, with all the crap that's been going on and been posted and everything, for the safety of the county employees, I think that it would be a good idea myself.
What's being posted? I wasn't familiar with this.
Excuse me?
What's being posted?
Red dot on your forehead, pictures of weapons, yeah.
Facebook or something?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, like I said, with all the crap that's being posted on there, of the threats that have been made, I think that it would be a good idea to do that. So, Chrissy, can you talk to Jennifer or Mary and have that phone transferred down to noxious weed? And then we'll see if I can get Life 360 put on all the county issue phones.
Indiana Mike. He's in Indiana, what the hell is he?
Oh, no, he's here.
That's something that needs to be investigated.
Well, you know, it's entirely possible that it doesn't need to be investigated, because like I say, this, to me, those are threats against county employees. And if people don't understand, like we were just talking, that, you know, we're not doing anything out of the ordinary, we're still protecting their rights. It's very clear in the resolution if you stop to read it and actually understand what it says, but I don't think a lot of people do understand what it says.
The only person that contacted me, it was Gerhardt. I haven't received any phone calls asking about it, asking for clarification on this.
It's just a bunch of keyboard warriors that are making threats, so.
Any response from Mr. Wilcott? I mean, what was his, I mean, he was contacted, I'm assuming, by
He
people.
said he had several people contact him and he wanted to read it for himself because he didn't know if they were reading it correctly. So I had to go talk to Kate and then he tell him.
So, but he sent a really good response there, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious they didn't read, Indiana Mike didn't read it. It says, pave the way to go in your homes, then enter your home against your will. No, it's exactly the opposite. They can't enter your home without an administrative warrant. That's the whole import of the
So
resolution.
I want to clarify too,
What that is.
well, in what instance would our office ever have to go inside of a home or a building?
I don't know, I would think, well, I mean, there's two ways that happens. One being, number one, they ask for permit, for building permit or something that,
Revitalization, you don't go in the home to take photos.
Well, that's different. That's a voluntary thing and they're aware and we communicate that when it's an interior remodel,
Right.
right? So they know that we have to see the before and then we have to see the
well,
after.
that's what I'm separating out two scenarios. One being, they've asked to do something to the property that necessitates a permit or some kind of action by you to approve it. So in my world, if you say, I want to improve this and I want to be in compliance, you volunteer to let you guys on the property do that. And this is only saying, yes, when you have a permit that says I want to do the
Correct.
interior, the people that can come on. And it's not a trespass for you to come onto the property to look at.
And so the
So
only,
that's one. Two is you have some type of, I would contend, nuisance issue. Meaning the house is so dilapidated, it's a danger, or there is, I don't know, some kind of dangerous dumping or chemicals in the residence for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's some kind of illicit thing. I don't know if you guys do that or not, as a regular basis, but
why would we and how would we know?
I don't know.
I mean,
The only situation that I can see where you would go into a building, not a house, a building, would be if somebody was putting up a garage and you had evidence that there was a living quarters in the garage. Because we've had that situation before, right? That would be the only situation that I could see where where you would possibly enter a building.
Well, and I think for the number two scenario, when you don't have a specific request from the landowner to be there, whatever your enforcement situation is, I think this says go for the administrative warrant. Because that's the best way to cover everything. Meaning, you go to court and say, here's what I think is happening. The neighbor has complained about chemicals in her pond showing up. She thinks it's coming from this place. And somebody tests the water and it's got whatever. Then you go to the judge and say, this is what's happening. We want an administrative warrant so that we can investigate for a nuisance condition. And the judge will say, yeah, that's good enough, or no. Once the judge says yes, then it's all done. I mean, that's the same as the policeman. Illegal activity inside the home, or in the curtilage, the area around the home, maybe the barn, all that stuff. You know, if the police know there's somebody being hurt at property, they can come in. But if they don't, then they go to the judge and they get a warrant. It's a criminal warrant. It's not an administrative warrant, but they get a warrant and then they can go on the property.
I see a safety issue.
Well, none of this means that anybody has to do it. It just says you guys have a regime that you know of in advance. So if it gets to the point where you've got a situation you have to go on the property. I mean, let's say the property is obviously abandoned. Nobody's living there, but looks like it's sagging in and it looks like it's going to collapse. Or something's wrong. You guys can't contact the landowner. Nobody's fessing up to owning, nobody is living there. So what do? Just let it collapse? Well, you can protect yourself. You can go, we know there's nobody there, let's go get the administrative warrant, just so we can go on there and inspect it. Then we can't get hurt, legally by it now, but hopefully it's somebody who can be careful enough not to get in a building that's going to collapse, cause it. That gets you that extra legal protection.
But you can take a law enforcement officer with you probably.
Well, I don't think the law enforcement officer has any, for personal safety, yes. Meaning, if you feel like somebody's there to threaten or harm, always get an officer or step back. I mean, I'll be the first one to say, tell me the nuisance and none of them are significant enough that anybody should be in danger. Okay, so, just a standby though, if there's just a question, sure. So does that get part of the way of what you're saying, what I'm saying? Because I would see an administrative warrant as being one of the most extreme circumstances you can get to, right? I mean, your day-to-day, I don't think you ask for that. I think, like I said, all the permits and everything they've asked.
Is there only two situations, building permit and revitalization, that you're gonna go on property to take and inspection of the, 7% or whatever you're
Right.
taking pictures?
So in the instance of somebody building living quarters within another building, we can pretty much tell, most of the time we can tell that activity, like residential activity around that structure. We don't issue building permits. In the case of an accessory dwelling unit, yeah, they would have to apply for a building permit to put that in, but they would have to apply for a building permit. We're not gonna go in and inspect that. They just have the permission to put that accessory dwelling unit in.
Well, haven't we had instances where somebody built a building and there has been a living quarters built into the building that was not permitted for, correct?
Correct. So we send a letter out. In some cases, we would put it on the tax roll as a certain amount of living space, and they can always protest that and bring picture proof that that's
Which
not
doesn't
the
require
case.
you to go take the pictures.
No. So all of this is very,
Would you rather have that taken out?
What, which part?
The part we're talking about, that you're concerned about, the part getting the,
I don't know if that's the part that's creating the tension or not. I kind of think it is, but, I mean, it states in there that it's not, that we're not gonna go in.
yeah.
I mean,
It does.
it states it.
Well, and I think the problem technically is that, you know, if you take it at flat-footed, you have no right to enter any property at all right now. And, I mean, probably view it from the road, view it overhead, whatever, you know, that's fine. But sometimes, if there is no inherent issue Fourth Amendment wise for you to go, you know, on a quarter section of property, you know, the house is quarter mile down the road, you could go onto the property if you need to see something. That's not the home, not the curtilage, not the barn. And that, to me, is, you know, the scenario where you're not violating anybody's rights being on there, because you don't have a Fourth Amendment right to privacy in the field. You have a right to privacy in your homes, in the curtilage, and maybe joining out.
Or they're dumping tires in the ditch or whatever.
Yeah, so you can't see it because there's a break right there, you can't, but you can, if you were to walk 10 feet in, you can see it, just take pictures. You know, in one circumstance, that's technically a trespass, and the other, you have the right of entry, so we do that. And it's all about the reasonable use. None of this was supposed to be that this is authorizing some kind of new inspection regime. It was basically to allow you to do the most simplest things, in my mind, that city officials take for granted. And then I thought this would be an issue. I would have probably thought education first rather than shooting this out. But, I mean, as far as the public's concerned.
Thoughts, Kate? I mean, do you want something different?
I just want people to understand what it means and that we're not gonna be going into people's homes. We will not do that. If someone asks us to come in, most of the time, we're like, no, that's okay. But if they say, no, come in and look at this, most of the time I've had it happen where we set up an appeal and it's a very structured way of going in and looking at that. I don't know what was in the past. I think there are people that have had issues in the past that is not the case. We try and stay very strict on, this is the way we do it now, and
Your practices?
so,
So Ally's writing an article to try to explain.
yeah.
Well, I think kind of the upshot of all this is maybe that this was not anything that upgraded or changed the focus of your office or zoning or anything like that. Appraisals or zoning. It wasn't an idea that you guys were pushing this because you needed some new enforcement initiative. That wasn't the case. It was a concern on the commission's end that things were arising where this could be an issue, looking ahead. Meaning, what if somebody went on a property to look at this dumping site of chemicals? Well, is it trespass? Could we do that? Do we have the authority to do that? Just blank. So let's start with that. And I think the resolution is pretty explicit that this was never intended to go into a house or a home unless the people were applying for something that required it.
Right.
And if that's not clear enough, then that's my fault, and we should go back to the drawing board and make that clearer.
I don't know how much more clearer we could make that.
And I think And I think the only other thing that's weighing against that is I think that there's a responsibility, obviously, that a county officer has, that if they see something that's harmful or dangerous in human life, or that's causing a danger, or somebody's in specific, under a specific threat, I don't think they can ignore that. Or it's a wise idea, and that's why that thing of there's a threat to life and health is significant enough, but I think that's part of the course. I mean, I don't, yeah, if you go into a place and you see somebody chained in the basement, you gotta act on it. That's not,
Well, that, and we wouldn't be in their basement.
yeah, hopefully.
Do you have anything else, Pete?
No,
Does that kind of clear everything up, clear as mud?
it was clear for me
Okay.
already.
Is this something like pertaining? Or is this yours? I'm not a big Facebook guy.
I'm not either. This is not for me, this is.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know, I guess it's about approach here, because, I mean, I see the first one, it's wrong. This, you know, fake news, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So,
And there are some comments, people that point that out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah, I didn't read the whole thing.
Yeah, there's people that point it out.
Exactly right.
No, we did the best we can to keep clarity in there, and then, like I said, if there's anything we need to do to make it better, I'm all for it.
Okay.
That's all you need from me.
Thanks, Pete.
Peace.
Judge, how are you today?
All right, you have just a few moments.
Certainly.
Just to give you a little bit of an update. So last year, we were looking at putting some sound panels in the big courtroom. We'd even gotten an estimate and such to do that. But we needed a legislative change to authorize the use of law library funds to pay for it. So we didn't do the project. In some ways, it worked out great because you guys decided to go ahead and use the same company to redo the memorial. And because of that, we got the old memorial room tiles for free, and they're in the jury room. That was going to be part of the project last year. We had an estimate for doing the big courtroom and the jury room. So the legislature this year did change the law, and effective July 1st, we can use law library funds. In anticipation of this, because the bill had passed earlier in the session, I'd gotten an updated estimate to do the project just for the big courtroom. But couldn't do anything until after July 1st. And then there were several steps that we needed to do. They changed the method in which the trustees for our law library are selected. It used to be that the lawyers voted them into office. Now they're appointed by the chief judge. And so, again, I waited until after that for Judge Elder to appoint new trustees for our Jackson County Law Library. Then I asked the trustees, because it's their decision first, would they authorize the use of funds to put in the sound tiles? They all said yes. Then, under the statute, the chief judge has to approve doing the project, which he's now done. The money we're talking about, law library, of course, isn't any of your money. However, this is still your building. And so essentially what I'm asking is, do you have any objections? It's the same company that you folks use to doing this project. It's a turnkey project, won't involve any of your folks, it's $20,000. We have adequate funds in the law library to do that project. We have about $60,000 that have built up over years that we have available. Our objective is, I mean, I'm one of the trustees too, although I don't get a vote on things like this, is typically our law library fund runs a little bit in the black. And we've renegotiated our contracts for the electronic research services over the years to make sure that it's cheap enough that we're in the black essentially every month. And when I say in the black, that means, $200 to $300 is what we're aiming for. There are some months where we're technically in the red because the income from the law library comes through various docket fees primarily. And so over a period of years, by carefully shepherding that and keeping the expenses down, we were able to build up this balance. So my objective isn't necessarily to go out and spend it all right away, and to always have some funds in there. And what happens is we do monitor it regularly so that if it just was getting into the red every single month, then we have to look at renegotiating our contract for electronic research services, either lowering what they have access to. This is for the lawyers. And then we have to, the law library has to be accessible to the public. So we have one, if you will, subscription, so that if someone came in and wanted to, quote, use our law library, most of which is up in the cloud, if you will. We do have certain books that we maintain. One of my clerks can get them on one of our computers, and they can do that. We've always had that back office possibility while I've been here. Nobody's ever used it. Our lawyers do use their access, which they're able to do just from their offices. So that's how the fund came into being. I don't know if there's anything more you want to know, or that's what I'd like to do. But if you objected to it, of course, it's your building and we wouldn't do it.
I believe that we already, when we talked about this, when you brought this to us last year, that we tentatively had a consensus, and that's what, that.
Yeah,
Fine.
and I think that's true. And then I think I told you, well, the legislation didn't pass and we didn't do it. And the only thing that's changed is I think that, that company did come in and do work here. And as far as I know, we were happy with what they did. And that's good to have that track record. So they sent me that estimate, it's been about 3 months. And they knew that I couldn't do anything until July. So the only thing that may change is they, of course, said that some prices could change that they don't control because of this tariff policy. I think most of the stuff is manufactured here, but sometimes there are some components. But I anticipate that it's probably going to be $20,000. Now, curiously, prices did go up. So the money we saved by not doing the jury room is about how much it went up over the year and a half between the estimates because of whatever, various inflationary pressures or those type of things. So we did benefit greatly from having the free ones put in the jury room, but by waiting all this time, which we couldn't control, we ended up essentially paying what the original estimate was to do 2 of them, but that's just how it goes. Okay, well, then I will communicate with the gentleman there, the manager, that we're ready to go. And, you know, if they need to update that, let me know, but that we have the funds available and we have the legal authority to do that. And then it's just gonna be a matter of trying to schedule it.
I think for legality purposes, let's go ahead and get that into a motion. That way, everything's clear to everybody. I'll entertain a motion to allow the judge to purchase sound panels for the big courtroom.
So moved.
Install it.
Yeah, do you want, yeah, yeah.
It's a
or-
turnkey project.
Turnkey
Yeah,
project, yes.
it would, yeah. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, maybe not the judge to purchase
Well-
it, but to have the.
It'll
work
be the
done.
law library trustees.
yeah. Second.
Okay, it's properly moved and seconded to allow the court system to purchase sound panels for the big courtroom. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carried.
Didn't want anybody coming back and go, "God,
Yeah.
Judge, that was awful nice of you."
That was dang nice, you good person to say.
Yeah, it's all right. Well, I appreciate that, and we'll get that started, because all of the trustees who are lawyers, they're Mr. White, Mr. Lake, and Ms. Belleville. They've been in our courtroom, they all agree that they think it would be helpful to both lawyers and litigants. I actually don't have much of a problem with hearing in there, but I do hear that from some of the lawyers and all. And I do think it'll make a big difference in there.
Cool.
Then lastly, obviously, given some of our other discussions, yes, for the small courtroom remodel that we've talked about, I have considered whether we might use those funds. Because it's a project that we might be able to get done. Ultimately, my goal is to always have a balance in there of at least $20,000. For if there was an emergency that we needed to do, and you folks were in a bind too, or that type of thing. For a huge project, it doesn't really make much of a difference at all. And once we spend this, it will take quite a few years to get back up to that. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Judge.
So we good?
We're good. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right. I got bills.
Did you ask for another payment?
I will, no, not yet. So this would have been that time. Overtime for the sheriff.
It's what?
Overtime for the sheriff's office.
Okay, that's
So
just.
they get it every other.
Quite a bit of difference, okay.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you. Everything's there, the list there.
Okay.
We have an intensive driving course this Wednesday. There's going to be 2 sessions, one's at 9 and one's at 11. Sorry, I'm just going to have to do those.
I was gonna try to make it.
And anyone that takes it will also get a certificate. So,
See you, Todd.
All right.
Tom, see you later. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I think in light of the situation, page 2, no, page 1, reverse side, paragraph 4, 5. That should be reworded. To give more of an explanation for those who just read the minutes and don't read the resolution. Thoughts? There is, and I'm not sure the word contractor, is that in? I have to go
I
back
think
and
the
look.
contract is in the
It's
resolution,
in the resolution, yes.
and that would have to do with like Northeast Kansas.
Environmental.
Yes.
But a little more of an explanation in that would be maybe beneficial.
I would agree.
Thoughts, Christie?
I'm getting there, hold on.
Oh,
Yeah, if we can expand on that, I think that would be a better thing.
And to clarify, we did sign that resolution that morning when Kate was down here. We did not do it that afternoon.
Yes,
It was signed when Todd was here.
good point.
Okay, so, on the resolution of county officer.
this would only be in those situations where revitalization contract, building permit, those types of things,
Nuisance.
nuisance. Nuisance report.
Yeah, reported nuisance.
We're not out actively,
No.
we have no one out actively looking for nuisance. We're not using spy satellites, we're not using any of that kind of stuff.
Drones, nothing.
And were we gonna address the ad that Holton Recorder produced, or has that already been approved?
Which one?
There was an ad to.
It is not yet. I have that on my to-ask list today.
Two ads.
Oh.
Okay.
Wonder if something else we're gonna talk about? Or that hit on everything? Oh, what's phones?
Or did-
Yeah, so that's, yeah, I already talked about the phones.
So do you just want like a short brief, the discussion was for the resolution to be used in revitalization or the report of a nuisance, and that the appraiser's office will not be entering homes?
That's correct.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
And in building permit, it's, I mean, that's part of it too. I mean, you're giving permission to use.
Yep.
You said David Cooper's coming the 28th.
And so is he set to come first thing in the morning or like at
I
noon?
think it's coming up now.
Okay, that's what I
And
thought.
I'm
Yeah, I
assuming
think
that's
that's what I thought.
executive session all afternoon.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Everybody read the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve the minutes of July 7th, 2025 with corrections.
So moved. Second.
It's properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes of July 7th, 2025 with corrections. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carried.
Yeah, the bills. The bills.
Go.
We don't have adult corrections into that budget meeting, right? They're not-
No, I don't believe so. I think that's, we didn't have it last year. That was all grants, so we didn't. Hannah, did you get a hold of Pat somehow, sometime, somewhere?
Which path?
Your Pat?
That's where I just talked to.
Oh, all right. Got to make sure that he reserves the room for us. I didn't know if you'd ever seen him, so.
Honestly, I didn't.
I know the feeling.
Sheriff's office still uses Lisa Hyden.
So you just what?
Lisa Hyden.
Yes. She's the one who has those funds in credit. Yes, they do.
Now, we've been stopped on one fund from receiving money. One of the funds, I got an email when we received money until some reports are in.
So
I
we should
think
have,
it's the Jackon.
maybe we should have paid her.
This was actually for the sheriff's office.
We paid her $5,000 and some dollars, it shows it. $5,000 and some dollars.
Yeah.
Are they gonna notify you when the room block is available?
I don't know, I don't know if I'm just gonna have to keep checking. I may just end up calling them there and asking. Maybe they just don't have it posted on the website.
All right. Understand.
Well, I thought they definitely need to be there, had a permit.
Yeah. That just doesn't make any sense, but.
comes up as.
Labor will do
Oh, I did. It comes up as cat.
Are guys not capable of doing this work?
Backslash page, backslash capital K. Yes. Kansas City County. Counties. .org. All right, thank you. Bye.
Don't see why they wouldn't be.
No, we didn't.
Read my drawing system, that's.
And then install the valve
Yep.
so that they can reverse the fan.
That doesn't make much sense.
Okay, Bethany will not be here for the budget hearings.
Okay.
She will be out of town. I know Kurt was gonna be out of town sometime, but I can't remember when he told me.
Retention to tracks. One of the things he did totally. Why are we paying somebody to retention to tracks?
They well, that they
Per customer request.
I would think that they would possibly have to do that after they drain the system. So there's probably hydraulic tension on that, I would guess.
They were grease.
Are they grease?
But,
But even at that, yeah.
because $4,600 worth of work. Why are we not capable of doing it? And 2,200, 2,100 of it was labor. How are you?
I just got your email.
I let them know.
Okay.
Gonna be out of town. Yeah.
Family vacation.
Doggone it. You're gonna miss all the fun and the fireworks.
What should I do instead?
We could probably build the one that does budget on it.
I mean, Amy could probably come and she doesn't have court. So I can check with her, at least she could be here for 3 to 5, but, I can kind of fill around on
You guys.
our budget. Or I can do another date and time too.
If Amy's free, have her come down. If not, we'll deal with it.
Okay.
And maybe
Okay.
just kind of have a printout
Yeah,
explaining,
so just explain what you're doing and why you're doing
yeah,
it,
line items and stuff.
Okay,
and so on and so forth.
okay. That works.
All right?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Should probably send them what they're getting before they leave. Send them what they're getting. I haven't sent anyone yet. I'll send that spreadsheet. I'm just gonna send that spreadsheet out that I made, so we'll know what we're.
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
So who would call for those repairs? Scott or?
We should be pricing.
won't be here either.
Okay. I think it's your last year.
I think I'm going on vacation now.
Oh, some big copies of the budget, you can go, you can do a bunch of them, not have one shot.
Oh, I'd make a dozen.
Is the signature sheet in here? Where's the signature sheet
They're here. They're signing them.
at? See anything
You
in
should
the
have
board?
two of them.
I didn't see anything
You have two signatures.
other than your,
That's in the paper.
No, no,
Well,
on
you
the
have
phone
the
call.
first one,
Yeah,
and then
it's there.
yeah.
I didn't see anything in the credit cards out of the ordinary.
Gotcha.
That's what David did up.
Yeah. I think you, did you send that to us or?
Yeah, 1800.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Yep, I think it looks good. Give them plenty of opportunity, so.
And then I think, like, something like this, you're doing tax statements, not everybody gets a newspaper or.
Yep,
I was gonna have it put it on the website too.
put it on the
Yeah.
website also.
That way, you know, everybody's been notified,
Yeah, I've seen it.
so that they know.
I think it's great.
Y'all good with it? Should I put David in?
Okay, perfect. Do we have more business come for us today? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn this meeting. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We'll see you next week.
Have a great week.
I can learn to repeat for doctors.
And then you probably spend your time at the fair, won't you?
Do what?
I said, then you probably spend your time at the fair.
Yeah, yeah. Heading there tonight for the shoot shows.
We went to the rodeo Saturday night.
Is it good?
I mean,
It was a rodeo. Small town rodeo, that's what it was.
first hour was kids riding like steers and mutton busting and boogie. Yeah.
So what happened the night when Peyton won that bull?
I don't know, that was Friday night, but he was back out there Saturday night.
Yeah, I know you said it didn't get him, but didn't.
I don't know if he was not the winner.